All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're cracking open the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. This isn't just a book. It's more like an operating manual for life, packed with insights from one of the sharpest minds out there. We're talking about a blueprint for building a life of both real wealth and genuine happiness.
And we kick off with this quote right here because it just hits so hard. I mean, have you ever felt that? You're putting in the hours, you're grinding away, but that feeling of freedom just seems to get further and further away. Well, Naval says that's not because you're not working hard enough. It's a sign you're not just losing the game, you're playing the wrong one entirely.
So what is this right game then? Well, Naval's whole philosophy really boils down to seeing life as two different but connected arenas. And once you understand which game you're playing, well, that's when you can finally start to change the score.
And here they are, side by side. On the left, you've got the outer game. This is all about wealth, leverage, and shaping the world around you to get what you want. It's the game of building systems. Then on the right, you have the inner game. This is about happiness, peace, and mastering the world within you. Here's the key. Winning at one without the other is a hollow victory.
Now, to make sure this powerful philosophy isn't just a bunch of cool ideas, we're going to use a special structure to break it all down. It's called the three-level mastery framework, a system developed by Sir Abid Ali Shahid, and it is a fantastic way to turn all this wisdom into a clear, actionable roadmap.
So let's dive into level 1, mastering wealth. And listen, this has nothing to do with get-rich-quick nonsense. This is about fundamentally changing how you think about making a living, so you can finally escape that trap of trading your time for money.
First things first, we have to get this distinction crystal clear. Money is not wealth. Money is just a tool. It's what you get paid for renting out your time. But wealth, wealth is the goal. Wealth is owning the assets, the businesses, the investments, the creative work that are out there earning for you while you sleep. You want to build wealth, not just make money.
So how do we actually build this wealth? Well, Naval gives us the literal formula. It's not magic, it's an equation. Specific knowledge multiplied by leverage, all wrapped in accountability. This is the blueprint. Let's break down what each of these really means. First up, specific knowledge. Now, you can't get this from a textbook. Think of it as your own personal superpower. It's that unique blend of your passions and skills. The thing you could do for hours and it feels like play. To everybody else, it looks like incredibly hard work, but to you, you're just having fun. And nobody can compete with you at that. Okay, you take that superpower, and then you add leverage. Leverage is what lets you magnify your impact. The old kinds of leverage, like capital or labor, are great, but you need someone's permission to use them. The new leverage, code and media, they're a whole different beast. They're permissionless. You can build an app or create a piece of content once, and it can serve millions of people 24/7 with no extra cost. It's incredible. And this brings us to a mindset shift that is absolutely crucial. You have to play long-term games. All the truly great rewards in life, whether it's wealth, relationships, or even wisdom, they all come from compound interest. You need to be patient. You need to invest in things that pay off over decades, not days. When you put all this together, you realize something profound. In this new world of leverage, how hard you work is way less important than what you work on. Your judgment is now the most valuable skill. One single, high-quality decision can create more wealth than 1,000 hours of just grinding it out. Think more, do less. Okay, so you've got the plan for the external game, but what's the point of winning if you're not happy? That's why we absolutely have to move to level 2, winning the internal game of happiness. Because being rich and miserable, that's the ultimate failure. Now, this idea from Naval is a total game changer for most people. Happiness isn't something you find. It's not a destination. It's a skill. Just like learning an instrument or a language, it's an internal choice that you cultivate through practice, through habits like meditation, presence, and being grateful. It's something you do, not something you chase. So what exactly are we practicing for? Look at this. Most people live their lives on this wild roller coaster of pleasure and pain, constantly chasing the next high. But that's not the goal. The real goal is to raise your baseline, to cultivate a state of peace. It's about just being content and okay when things are okay, which, if you think about it, is most of the time. So what keeps us from being peaceful? Well, Naval puts the blame squarely on desire. And just read this quote. Let it sink in. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. Wow. Every time you desire something, you're literally choosing unhappiness. The key isn't to eliminate desire, but to choose your desires very, very wisely. And let's be honest,
A huge driver of our desires is plain old envy. But Naval has this brilliant mental trick to just obliterate it. You can't just cherry-pick the parts of someone else's life you want. You want their money? Okay, but you also have to take their anxieties, their tough relationships, their crazy work schedule, the entire package. When you realize it's an all-or-nothing trade, envy just kind of fizzles out.
Okay, this is where we bring it all home. Level 3, the unified philosophy. This is where we stop seeing wealth and happiness as separate pursuits and start integrating them into a single, cohesive way of living.
But before you can build anything lasting, you need a rock-solid foundation, and for Naval, this is non-negotiable. It all starts with health, and the order is absolutely critical. First, your physical health, sleep, diet, exercise. Then your mental health, your peace of mind, and finally your spiritual health. If this foundation crumbles, everything you build on top of it will too.
This pyramid just illustrates it perfectly. Health is the bedrock. That strong foundation allows you to be authentic, to discover your specific knowledge. And from that place of authenticity, you can then build both lasting wealth and deep internal peace. You can't skip the steps.
And this really leads to the ultimate takeaway, the synthesis of both games. Be yourself. Authenticity isn't just some feel-good platitude. It is a core strategic advantage in life and in business. No one in the world can compete with you at being you. That is your ultimate moat.
So where does this journey take us? What's the final transformation we're aiming for? It's not about choosing between wealth or happiness. It's about achieving both, together. It's about achieving freedom with peace.
This table really sums up the whole playbook. On the left, you've got the core pillars for winning the wealth game. On the right, the pillars for winning the happiness game. And what do you find at their intersection? The ultimate prize, freedom with peace. The ability to live life on your own terms with a calm, clear, and untroubled mind.
And I think this is the perfect thought to leave you with. This is the entire philosophy captured in a single, powerful sentence. Build a life where money works for you and your mind works for your peace. That's it. Engineer your external world for freedom and engineer your internal world for peace.
So that's our deep dive into the brilliant ideas in the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. And remember, to help make all of this really clear and actionable, we use that fantastic framework developed by Sir Abid Ali Shahid. If you found that 3-level structure helpful for putting these ideas together, do us a huge favor and let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.